in this video, we're going to talk about everything you need to know about Ajax, Ontario, and I'm going to walk you through on a map because that way you can see the proximity to downtown Toronto, the airport, and you can see all of the sights and sounds of everything there is to do in Ajax, Ontario. And we're going to get into it right now. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living, working, eating, sleeping, playing, the good and the bad of Toronto, Ontario, and the surrounding areas like right here in Ajax, then subscribe below, tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market in Ajax, Ontario. My name is Rochelle Manguino. For the last 7 years, I've been helping people just like you make the move to Toronto, Ontario, and I absolutely love it. As a real estate agent here, I want to help you do that. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, be sure to give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or even schedule a Zoom call, and I'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to Toronto, Ontario. So in this video, as I mentioned, I'm going to be walking you through Ajax, Ontario on a map so that you get an idea of what's nearby, things to do, and let's get after it. We'll jump into my computer and we will go from there. All right, so here we're taking a look at Ajax, which you can see is highlighted right over here. So right off the bat, the highest or the biggest highlight of Ajax is that it is a lakefront town. You are sitting on the shores of Lake Ontario, so a lot of points of interest will be along the water. And then if I zoom out, you can see that Ajax is just about east of Toronto, about 45 kilometers from the 401. So if you actually take the 401 to the DVP, but at first glance, it might make more sense to take Kingston Road here all the way to Toronto, but be fair warned that there is a lot of traffic on this road. It is a major road, but it isn't the highway. So you are going to get a lot of traffic lights, and whatever Google Map search that you do, it is going to tell you that the 401 is the way to go. Now, when you are on the 401 here, you are going to pass by Pickering and Scarborough. So a lot of people do ask, is Ajax a suburb of Toronto? Yes, it is. So Ajax is officially part of the Greater Toronto Area. So once you pass Scarborough, Scarborough is part of Toronto. Then you've got Pickering. So that's your neighboring city to the east. And then just east of Pickering is where you've got Ajax. But starting from Pickering, when you move outward all the way up to Clarington, which is just past Oshawa, then all that is part of the Durham region, D for Durham. So yes, Ajax is part of the GTA. It's about half the size of Whitby, which is its neighboring city to the east, and then about a third of the size of Pickering, which is its neighboring city to the west. Now, most people, when they are in Ajax, they pretty much stay in Ajax. Pre-pandemic, it was a bedroom community, so to speak, where a lot of people, a lot of the residents in Ajax, they were commuting to the city of Toronto for work. But now with the pandemic and everyone working from home and everything has gone virtual, you know, it's not so much a commuter town these days. But if you are wanting to travel into Toronto, and you'll want to avoid all of the traffic on the 401, then your best bet would actually be the GO station right over here. So Ajax does have a GO station right there, which is at Westney Road here. There's the GO. And then if you wanted to travel even further out to the airport specifically, that would be here. That's the closest international airport. It's Pearson, which is in Mississauga. So that would be a 60-kilometer commute or a 40-minute drive just along the 401 to the 427. And then boom, you can fly out somewhere sunny and take me with you. Now, road transportation in Ajax is pretty much dominated by Highway 401, which you can see runs straight through Ajax, pretty much dividing it in half. Now, not completely in half, because if you actually look at Taunton Road here, north of Taunton Road, this is all rural. Now, along the 401, there are three exits that bring you into Ajax. So here's a 401. Lake Ridge, you can only exit if you're heading east on the 401, but Westney Road and Salem, these are your major roads that you can access both from the east and west. Now, here, if we're focusing on Salem Road, this is where you're going to see a lot of bottleneck traffic eastbound on the 401 because the lanes actually narrow down to 3 lanes. So just keep that in mind if you're commuting along the 401 during rush hour. Now, if we just go a little further down on Harwood Road here, this is what's considered sort of your downtown area of Ajax. Now, the thing is that Ajax doesn't actually have a downtown. So you don't have a downtown in the traditional sense where you think of, a lot of shops and restaurants where people can walk to. But there is a lot to do in this central part of Ajax. So here along Harwood Avenue, if I just zoom in, you can see a whole bunch of different, shops and restaurants. So I've got Ban Ban Korean Fried Chicken here, Pita Delights, Mexico Lindo, let's see here, Churwasta Indian Cuisine. So all along Harwood Road here. And then if I just go further up here, along Kingston Road here specifically, then you've got just over here, this is Durham Center. This is your typical power center where you've got your big box stores like Home Depot, Canadian Tire. There's a Costco over here, a Walmart actually over here. And then again, a ton of restaurants to choose from. Let me just zoom in a little bit more. And then so you can see I've got the Keg, I've got Boston Pizza, Applebee's. Let's see what else. So funny thing is there's actually a Cineplex Odeon, Ajax Cinemas here. I actually had this conversation with someone not too long ago. I don't know. It might be a dying industry. I haven't been to the movie theaters in a very long time, because of Netflix and with streaming services that they offer these days. I just, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are movie theaters a dying industry? I'd love to hear your thoughts. But, if you are into movies, then you've got the Cineplex theaters right over there. And then let's head on south over here to the water. This area is really interesting because, like I mentioned, a lot of your main interest points in Ajax are going to be along the waterfront because you are along Lake Ontario. Now, Ajax's Waterfront Trail is actually part of the Waterfront Trail, the one that stretches all the way from Hamilton to Belleville. Now, Ajax is part of that is actually 7 kilometers, and they're actually the only community or the first community to have their entire waterfront trail beginning to end off-road. Now, so that's really interesting. And I know that a lot of people, when they do want to hit up the waterfront park, they're probably going to head on over to Pickering, Frenchman's Bay, or even Scarborough Bluffs in Scarborough, which is about a half-hour drive from Ajax. But it is a lot, or it is worth it to a lot of people because they don't know about Ajax's waterfront trail. It's really clean. There's always parking. It's never too crowded. And you've got a lot of large open spaces here, which is really nice for families because you're going to see a lot of families with their kids, their soccer balls, having picnics with their kids and just enjoying the weather. Now, the nice thing about the waterfront trail is that it is paved and you're going to see a lot of benches along the trail so that you can rest. In the summertime, you're going to see a lot of butterflies and a wide variety of flowers like roses and hibiscus. So it is really pretty. Now, to get to the entrance of the Waterfront Park, you are going to see Veterans Point Gardens, which is along the base of Harwood Avenue here. You can just park your car here and then you can walk to this memorial site for World War II vets. So Veterans Point Gardens, this is where you're going to see a lot of, memorial plaques, pictures. There's a nice display dedicated to the HMS Ajax. So that was actually a battleship for the Royal Navy during World War II. And that's actually how Ajax got its name. It was named after this battleship. So, you've got a beautiful setting along Lake Ontario. You can walk around, and it's sort of an unexpected surprise because you think you're going for a nice walk, and then all of a sudden, it's a history lesson. And then if you just walk a little bit further down, walk or drive along Lake Driveway, it's about 2.5 kilometers, you can get to Rotary Park. So this is one of your bigger parks. I think it's actually the biggest park in Ajax. It's really popular with young families because anytime you go, you are going to see Rotary Park full of kids at the playground. There's also a splash pad there. You get a really nice view of the lake. And then right over here, I believe this is where you can get access to the water. They have a really small ramp there where you can bring your kayak or your canoe. Now, this part of the water, it's really calm, the water, and shallow. So you're going to see a lot of, blue heron and swans. You're going to see a lot of people fishing along this lake as well. This is my picture of a fish. Now, if you are into fishing, Greenwood Conservation Area, that's just up here, that entire green section there. Let me just zoom in. It's about 700 acres or so of greenland, and it is along the Duffins Creek. So this is a cold creek. Where you can find a lot of rainbow trouts and a bunch of other fish here. Now, this creek does run along the New Seton Valley, but along the creek, you can also hike. The hiking trails here, they are very well groomed. And along the area, you've got a good mix of fields and forests. So it's a nice place for a walk. You could probably come along a picnic shelter probably once every 10 minutes or so. So nice place to hang out, walk around, be close to nature. Now, if you are looking for a little more action, then the Ajax Casino right over here and the Ajax Downs Racetrack are right over here in the northeast section of Ajax. It's only one of 3 casinos in the GTA. It's temporarily closed right now just because we are in the middle of a lockdown, but they will be open as soon as this is over. Now, the thing is that there is another casino just next door in Pickering where it's going to be huge. They're developing it right now. There's a film studio, concert venue, huge casino, like I said, 5-star boutique hotel. Now, they are moving a lot of their machines from the casino Ajax over to the new one, Durham Live, it's called, in Pickering. You can even see a lot of the machines right now. They have tags on them saying that they're no longer in use because they're moving them over to Durham Live. But the racetrack here, Ajax Downs, our current Ontario Premier, Doug Ford, he actually said that he is going to keep that open, which is really nice because you can actually bet as little as $5 to get in on the racetrack action. Now, this grounds, they also host, a lot of events like Canada Day. They have a lot of food truck festivals there. So they really try and keep the community engaged. Now, speaking of Pickering, this area here, which is Pickering Village, which oddly enough is part of Ajax. Don't get it confused. It used to be part of Pickering, but when the Durham region actually was first formed, then Pickering Village became part of Ajax. So this community, it actually has a lot of history to it. There is this huge building right along here at Kingston in Church. It actually used to be part of a Quaker settlement back in the 1800s, but now it's home to a bunch of shopping, which I'll zoom in on, and a bunch of, local mom and pop type restaurants. There are a lot of established businesses in that complex that have been running for a long time. And then a lot of the homes in this area, you actually get a good mix of, so first of all, on the southern part here, you're going to get a lot of older homes. So ranch style bungalows, Victorian homes. And then on the northern side, this is where you're going to get a lot of new builds. So newer subdivisions, mostly single family homes that have built more recently. But that's the thing about Ajax, is that wherever you go, you're going to get a good mix of housing. So everything from apartments, condos and high rises to executive single detached homes. So if you're thinking of moving to Ajax, Ontario, then you've got a good range of different price points and options that you can choose from. Now, the average price of a home in Ajax is $1.1 million. So I do get asked a lot, is it expensive to live in Ajax? Well, it depends. I mean, I think we can all agree that anywhere in the GTA, it's going to be expensive. But in relative terms, if you are comparing Ajax to other parts of the GTA, then you will find lower price points in Ajax. Ajax is considered relatively more affordable. So Central Southwest Ajax, here, this area has the lowest price point of homes in Ajax. The median price point of a home here is about $810,000, with condo apartments sitting at around the $620,000 mark on average. It is an older community. You are going to find a lot of housing built in the early 1940s or so here. And this is where you're also going to find most of Ajax's low and medium rise apartment buildings, as well as a lot of small bungalows, 2-bedroom homes. So this area is perfect for smaller families, downsizers, or retirees. But it is nice because you are close to a lot of amenities here along Harwood, the different shops and plazas that I showed you earlier. And then just up the road here is the hospital, Lake Ridge Health here. Now, when you do move closer to the water, to this neck of town, the prices do pick up almost dramatically. Now, Pickering Beach here, now don't be fooled because this is part of Ajax again. But back in the day, this used to be part of, or when people started to first move into Ajax, you had a lot of cottages here. But now it's being filled with a lot of infills and newer homes. And because it is along the water, this is where you're going to see homes at the upper price points in Ajax, where you're going to see a lot of homes selling for anywhere between $1.5 to north of $2 million. So real estate is not cheap in this neighborhood, but if money is not an issue for you, then this is probably one of the best areas in Ajax to buy a home. So all in all, a nice part of town. If you want to check out this neighborhood a bit more in detail, then I do have another video that you can check out. It gives you a good breakdown of all the top neighborhoods in Ajax, so not just this one, but that people are moving to. You get drive-bys of the street so that you can see the homes up close and personal. We go through neighborhood demographics, schools in the area, how safe it is to live here. That's a question that I get asked a lot. But all just so that you get a good picture of what it's like to live in Ajax. A lot of young people, so millennials, Gen X, Gen Z even, they've been moving out of Toronto and into the suburbs like Ajax lately, which makes sense when you consider what Ajax has to offer. It's economically booming. There's been a lot of residential and commercial development here in the last 10 or 15 years or so. And it's a great place to raise a family because it is a lot less hectic than Toronto, but you do still get a lot of cultural flavor because it is ethnically diverse. And so all in all, a great place to live, work, and play. And so if you're considering moving to Ajax, Ontario, then whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give me a shout. I would love to help you out. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or even schedule a Zoom call down in the description below. We can jump on a Zoom just like this. I'll show you the areas that interest you, kind of walk you through those as well, just so that you can get a better idea. And hopefully I do get a chance to work with you and help you out any way that I can. It's what I love doing. I would love to help you make a smooth move to Toronto. Until then, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out this video about the pros and cons of living in Ajax. Until then, I'll see you guys around town. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye for now.